In this video, we are going to see how to construct a DFA that begins with some pattern. So we'll take the following question. Construct a DFA to recognize all strings over 0, 1 beginning with 1, 0. This is the pattern is same here, which is nothing but 1, 0. So for example, the DFA that we construct must be capable of generating the strings like this. So here all the strings begins with the pattern 1, 0, right? So as usual, given a pattern, we construct our states and transitions for that pattern. So created. So now we introduce the input symbols. So after introducing the input transitions for the given pattern, for the remaining input symbols in sigma need to be introduced. So now when we observe state A, it has transition for the input symbol 1. The transition for 0 from sigma is missing. So when we have to introduce transition for 0, but here we have to remember an important point, that is all the string generated by this DFA must begin with the pattern 1, 0. So already the pattern is here. So whatever transition I introduce for the states beginning and the states that are involved in generating the patterns, it should not disturb the pattern that is generated by it. Hence, the transitions that I introduce for the state A should not have a path that leads to the accepting state. Hence, we introduce a state, namely a dead state. It means a state which does not have any outgoing transition because of the above said reason. Right? So, for 0 input symbol, the transition leads to D, and for the input symbol B, it leads to the state D, because these two states are involved in generating the pattern 1, 0, and since this is considered as a dead state, it should not have any outgoing transition. As we need to introduce, since being this is a DFA, I also need to introduce transition for the state D. So since it should not have any outgoing transition, I'll introduce a self loop for it. Since as the pattern 1, 0 is already introduced, I don't have any restrictions for introducing self loop for the accepting state. So thus we have constructed a DFA that generates all strings beginning with the pattern